Mayada. Wait, why can't I spell my name?
It's the second time.
Barbell Radio.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Barbell Radio. As always, this is your host Canon and I'm excited to bring you another English episode where I interview a powerlifting athlete. Today's guest is a young female 47 kilo weight class powerlifter who currently lives in Vienna, Austria. She is a national junior record holder for the 47 kilo class in all squat, bench, deadlift and total, as well as holding the open national record for squat, deadlift and total at the age of 19. I am very excited to introduce the dedicated young lifter, Keiko Mayeda. And compared to the other episodes of Barbell Radio, it is probably not as intense and probably more easy to listen to as we talk casually about her lifting career and her motivation as a lifter. Anyways, that's enough from me and let's move on to the talk.
Barbell Radio.
Okay, so today I'm connected online on Zoom with a Japanese European female powerlifter. I am very excited to introduce Keiko. Thank you for being on the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Okay, so this will be like the third time that we do this, since the first two times we had like technical difficulties, but I hope it's going to be okay now. So for those that may not be aware of who you are, can you maybe briefly give an introduction of who you are and what you do?
Hi, so I'm Keiko and I'm 19 years old. So both of my parents are Japanese, but I was born in Switzerland and then we moved to Vienna since, I don't know, in 2001 I think, and I grew up and have been living there ever since. And I'm a powerlifter, so
a big part powerlifting. Okay,
yeah.
So today's on today's episode we'll be touching on mostly like powerlifting topics, but a few points about your personal life, as you are obviously a Japanese woman living overseas, and I'm pretty sure you have like very good insights about that. So we'll talk about that. And I know you also sent me some questions, so feel free to jump in and ask me anything. That sounds good, right?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so you said you live in Vienna, which is in Austria, right?
Yeah.
And how long have you been there exactly?
Since 2001.
2001. Oh, that's right, you did say it. I'm sorry. So,
It's okay, it's fine.
your life is really confusing for me. I didn't even know that
Really?
you were born in Switzerland.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
that's not that important though, because I've only been there for like a year. And I
Okay.
think you thought at the beginning that was from Australia, right?
I don't think so.
That was Nomura Yu. She was like, oh my
okay.
god, Australia is so cool. I was like, I'm not from Australia.
No, I get that a lot. Oh, you're from Austria? No.
Australia. It's like,
yeah, very, very.
yeah.
Okay, so I want to move into some like powerlifting topics. I believe we connected through Instagram, and the first impression of you was like, you're like really strong. And then the second impression of you was like, you're like super young, right? You said you're 19, right? So
Yeah.
how long have you been involved in this sport and how did you get into it?
So I started powerlifting in October 2018. So it hasn't been that long actually. Not even 2 years. So I met my coach at my old gym and then we started talking, and then he mentioned that I had good chances in powerlifting. So not only leverage wise but also strength wise.
Okay.
So at that time I think my best lifts were like 90 kilo high bar squat, but the form was pretty horrific actually. But and my bench was 50 and I think 97.5 kilo for a conventional deadlift. I put someone is better. So yeah, I would say that strength wise it wasn't, that bad to start powerlifting maybe.
Very, very good,
and half a year later, since I met my coach, I started training with him.
Okay. And you said you were training before you met your coach, right? Where were you training?
Yeah. Where? At a very basic commercial gym.
So it was like a commercial gym, right?
I would not step foot in. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you even start lifting in the first place?
So, I think when I was 14, my sister started going to the gym herself, but not for like strength reason, but only like for doing cardio and lose weight.
Right.
I want to lose weight too. I want to be skinny and whatever. Yeah. And then I met a friend when I was like 16 until like I signed up to the gym at 14. That is like the youngest you can sign up to a gym with when your parents agree,
Oh, okay.
So with parental permission. Yeah. So I started going to the gym there. My workouts were like an hour cardio and then 20 air squats, and that was it for like 2 years, I think.
Very different to now, huh?
Yes. Now I do 2 hours of training and barely any cardio.
Just squats.
So I started with the intention of, losing weight and getting skinny, but I didn't touch any weights. And then a friend of mine suggested, like, maybe you set a few kilos. And then I did. And he also showed me, like, squatting and stuff. At the beginning, I was squatting diagonally to the mirror, so I can see that I'm hitting depth. I was also using a barbell pad and was
I love it.
Around it and stuff. Yeah. Also the butt squeeze at the top and everything. It was just, I can say I've learned a lot since then.
Yeah, of course.
I'm very happy that I did. Yeah,
and the fact that you started at such a young age too, because 14 is not that old. Like, pretty, and like, it's been a while, so it's good that you have that kind of advantage as well, because I started lifting when I was like 17, 18.
Wait, and since when have you been, when did you start powerlifting?
I started on my second year of university, so that was like, that's when I first stepped into the gym. But I've been doing uni for like 7 years, so 5 years ago, I think, I started training. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, you have a big advantage, I think. And you're only 19 too, so can't wait.
Yeah. I also have to mention that, the year that I started powerlifting was also in January 2018 was the first time ever that I touched a barbell to train upper body.
Okay.
So I started with wiggly empty barbell bench presses in January.
We all start there.
Yeah. No problem. Made some progress.
Hell yeah. You're 19. You're still very, very young.
Yeah.
So tell me your squat, bench, and deadlift numbers right now. Your best numbers.
So currently it's 112.5 with squat, 76 with bench, and 121 with deadlift.
Wow, very strong. And like, you put it up on your Insta story, like I think it was yesterday, that your first comp was you hit a PR on your squat, and it's been a PR ever since, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So with my squat, it has been a quite rocky road, because after Viennese regionals, which was my first comp ever, I kind of missed a squat in training, and since then I was really not scared, but I had pretty big respect, for the weight. And then it was like kind of rocky. And the fear of, having a lot of weight on my back went away at the end of December, and ever since it has gone up as well. If right now the gyms wouldn't be closed because of Corona, I think that with my cycle I would have hit a new PR. Yeah. But life happens.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm sure a lot of people are feeling like the same way. And would you say like your squats are probably the strongest lift, like relatively, like your most powerful lift? What is that?
I would say that my most powerful lift is my bench.
Okay. And I don't know, I think it's a good segue to get into the next topic. Like your bench, right? You have a very high arch, wide grip bench, creating a very small range of motion. If you go on Keiko's Instagram, I think you'll be able to see some of her bench videos. Can you please tell me why you do this?
So first of all, creating an arch and also maximizing the grip width is an advantage for powerlifting, especially to reduce the range of motion. And I also find that it helps you utilize leg drive. And also, when you create an arch, you are making space for your shoulder blades when you retract and depress your scapula. And that way it is healthier for your shoulders, and also it provides you more stability due to engagement of your upper back and legs as well.
Okay. So it's less range of motion, better shoulder position as well, you would say.
And it makes you able to lift, like press more weight.
Yeah. Okay. So have you because in powerlifting rules, you're not allowed to have your butt come off the bench. Do you have any problems with that?
No.
You don't?
I used to have the problem, but that was because my foot positioning was completely different.
Okay.
So it was more closer to me, sideways, and then obviously when you push your legs into the ground, when they're so close, it's easier for your butt to come up. But now my feet, so that is like a thing that I realized improved my arch.
Yeah.
It's actually the only thing I can do because I have no clue otherwise. Is that now my feet are looking forward and they're pretty far away from me.
Okay. Is that better for your leg drive as well, or?
I think so, yeah, because I can push myself back. I don't push myself up while pressing into the ground, but I'm pressing in my feet into the ground but pushing back.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard about that from a lot of lifters as well. And sorry, this is not within the questions, but what are some of the cues when you bench? Like while you're benching, what do you think about when you're benching? What are you careful about?
I think when someone is giving me a lift off, which is also a very specific thing.
Right.
Because I am very short. Like I said, my coach said that I have good leverage, so my arms are pretty short.
Yeah. So,
and with the maximal allowed, what do you say? How do you call it?
The grip width?
Yeah, the max, you know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
Okay, so and also with my completely huge arch, but actually, but when it comes to the lift off, it's because of my grip width. I am at level 1 at a squat bench combo.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when someone is giving me a lift off, they have to carry all the weight, but they can't lift it too high because otherwise my shoulder blades go out of position and then I have to retract them again.
Yeah.
Wow. So that is also a very complicated process. But my shoulder blades are actually already tucked in, I'd say, so that I am actually, but then I get the bar and then I think I brace even more. And I just try to lower the bar underneath my chest and then just push up, I think.
Okay, so it's there is no way that you could do a self rack.
No.
Yeah, because that would be a lot.
Struggle with more than 50 kilo. So I think 50 kilo or 55 is the most I can lift off.
Yeah, just the positioning. That's very interesting to me. Okay, and you must, because not all your followers are powerlifters. You'll probably have some fitness gym goers who thinks that bench press is all about bodybuilding or training for hypertrophy purposes. So you must get a lot of comments, right, about your bench press arch and how short your range of motion is.
Yeah. It's not only from non-powerlifters, but even powerlifters comment.
Okay.
Yeah, they're okay, I get that in powerlifting it's allowed, but that is extreme, and and then they say something like it's not about strength anymore but only flexibility and blah blah blah. So yeah, it's also very controversial within the powerlifting community.
But it's not even your fault.
No, I just do what IPF says is okay.
Exactly. It's nothing is your fault. Do you take that? You obviously don't take that offensive, right?
No.
Okay, good.
Because
do you
that makes me able to lift a lot. So
do you respond to those messages or
most of the time not really, because it's always the same comments, always. Like, that's too short, it's not strength, it's just flexibility, blah blah blah. I just can't be really bothered with it because it's just
I'm just following the rules and doing my sport
20 times already.
And you told me last interview that you got a lot of shares on some of your videos, right?
So the last video that was really controversial was my a PR video of mine where I hit 75 for the first time. And it got shared 560 times and saved 60 times, and I don't know, it was just crazy.
You'll probably get a lot of fame from that as well, so why not? But you haven't had any injuries from it or anything, have you?
No.
Okay. And your lower back doesn't strain at all, or?
I mean, if frequency is really high, let's say I do this kind of arch 4 times a week, then my back gets tired, but other than that, it's completely fine.
And it's kind of I don't know, a very unnatural position for biomechanically, your body being in a position like that. Do you have to have a good flexibility, and if you do, then where do you need to be mobile?
So, well, I don't know if people expect me to give a answer with methods that they can create such an extreme arch, but I need to say that my arch has been pretty decent from the beginning. So and I am pretty mobile, so I didn't do any mobility stuff to my spine in order to create it. So it just came with benching a lot. And
natural bencher.
It's my coach always jokes around that, as soon as I got my current arch, that I am embracing my Japanese side. But I've always been mobile in my lower spine. But I realized, the biggest difference I noticed in my arch is when my thoracic spine became more mobile. Because at the beginning, my arch was, there was a arch in the lower back, and then my thoracic spine went down, almost completely straight. So it didn't really do anything, to decrease the range of motion. But as soon as my thoracic spine became mobile as well, then not only was the arch from my lower back, but also from my upper back. So chest came up, got closer to the bar. So I would say thoracic spine mobility.
What about your neck? Do you think, because you're bending this way,
but
your head down and then your chest up? Because I know some people do stretch their neck a lot. Maybe you have a very flexible neck as well.
I haven't thought about that at all.
What about your wrist as well?
I don't know. But like I said, when it comes to mobility, I didn't do anything. So I don't know.
Does your wrist hurt when you do such a wide grip?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, when you do back L sets with 60 or something, then it's completely fine. But when you do a top set with 74 or something, it kind of especially because I am so little, and also my wrists are really tiny.
Right.
Then I could not bench without wrist wraps.
Yeah, neither can I.
I can't even squat without wrist wraps.
Oh yeah. I totally understand. So let's move a little bit into your topics about training. So you have a coach right now, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And what does your training look like?
Okay, so my coach, he's called Patrick Oberstolz, if anyone wants to see him on Instagram.
I don't even know what you said.
So my training is based on the RTS, the reactive training system, founded by Mike Tischer. He was also the one who created the RPE scale, which I'm going to touch on later.
Yep.
So with RTS, you create a training system based on the three main lifts. So squat, bench, deadlift, where you use the RPE scale, to rate how hard a particular set was. So in addition to the main lifts, you program as well supplemental lifts that eradicate your weaknesses in certain ROMs. So you could do pin press, for example, pin squat, pass bench, pass squat, etc. The training cycle is divided in two parts. So the development cycle and the pivot cycle. The development cycle is where you do your comp lifts and aim to increase the weight. And at some point, the athlete will peak, meaning that their estimated 1 rep max is the highest. And this is then followed by a decrease in performance.
Okay.
And that's when you start going into the pivot cycle, or so-called deload.
Okay, deload. And that is 1 week?
It depends. I think Mike Teixeira said that he uses 30% of the duration from the development cycle to determine how long the deload cycle is going to be.
Nice, okay. Lots of calculations there,
Yeah, with me, for example, it's like 4 weeks development cycle, which is actually pretty short, followed by 1 week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so you usually, in your development cycle, do you take singles? So you do take singles on your cycle? Because I hardly ever take singles. Just when I peak. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I think that's pretty common for RTS to have singles and then, these singles followed by backup sets.
Okay, very interesting. And how many days a week do you train? Well, if you're not on quarantine.
Yeah, so normally I train 4 times a week.
Okay, 4 times a week. Okay, so that's a normal frequency, I guess. And you mentioned a little bit about how you base your training with RPE. Can you please explain what that is for us?
So RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. So it's a numerical scale from 1 to 10 based on how hard a set felt to. So RPs below 7 are usually for warm-up sets, and you can also take half jumps, so like 0.5, which is like RP7, RP7.5, RP8. And like I said, RPs below 7 are like more like warm-up weights, and then RP7, 7.5, 8.5 is the speed of a single, or when you do back-off sets, so multiple reps, that can also determine whether or not you could have done a few more reps.
Okay, so it's really the numbers are based on how many more reps that you have left in the tank or whatever it is.
Technically,
right? Yeah. So because I hear a lot about like, if you can grind 2 more reps out, then it would be an RPE8 or something like that. Would that be correct?
Yeah, and if you feel like if you're not completely sure if you could have done 2 more, then it's like an 8.5, because then it's like a maybe 2 more.
Okay. Yeah. And that's a very subjective number, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, I think that's really good because, the RPE numbers, each number has a certain meaning.
Yep.
But each person can rate their performance, I think.
Yeah.
Because like you said, when someone says that they could have grinded 2 more reps, it could have been a completely total, I don't know how you say that.
Yeah.
Like grinding for you probably means something different than grinding for me.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's true. Because okay, if I thought it was an RPE8 and then you watching my lift says, oh, that was definitely an RPE7, that kind of breaks the purpose of RPEs, don't you think? I just thought of that.
Maybe, I don't know, but I find myself confused as well because, you know, right after I finish the single, I'm like, oh, that was so slow. That was an RP 8.5, 9 maybe. And then I look at the video and I was like, fuck, that's an RP. But then I'm like, oh, but it was so heavy. And then you have to come to like a middle point because, you know, it can feel hard, but also I think you have to combine it because you can't be too subjective. And that's why filming yourself is important, I think, because then you see it from the outside, you know, without being influenced by your thoughts of being really hard and difficult. And that's why I like using them. Because let's say, because RPEs also enable you to change your training if you,
adjust,
on a certain adjust your training if you're not feeling that good on that certain day, because imagine you would work with percentages. Let's say you had a single with, I don't know how many, like 100 kilo, but that felt like an RPE 8, but you were supposed to do the single at an RP 7, then you can't increase because you're like, that was already my top set. And now you're confused about what your backup set is going to be like, you know, because it says, I don't know, a certain percent of your warm-up max is going to be your backup set. And with the RPEs, you can do as much weight to hit the RPE. So it's like, you know, the RPE scale enables you to adjust the weights accordingly to fit your ability on that particular day.
Okay. Yeah, because only you know how you feel doing that lift. But that, like, I think it opens the door for, like, you slacking off maybe, or you being lazy or things like that. What do you think about that? Like, if you're super tired, maybe you feel, like, unmotivated. I have to do an RP8 today, but, oh, I don't know, it kind of felt heavy, so maybe not. Oh, that was already too much for me kind of thing. Because it's so subjective. Does it make you slack off a little bit?
No. I think because I am filming myself as well when I do my lifts. So, you know, and I also watch the videos after each set to determine the RPE. And when I can see that, you know, of course it's going to feel heavy. Actually, whatever you know, no matter how many kilograms we lift, it is actually heavy, you know, to have an extra 80 kilo on your back. Even though maybe it's not that much for you as a powerlifter, but you know. But when I look at the video, I see that it was pretty easy. And I also have a coach. Imagine he wants an RP8 from me, but I sent him an RP6 just because I didn't want to. Also, you know, I train to become stronger, so I don't want to, you know, lift at an RP6 but claim it was an RP8 just to not having to do more. But at the end, it's gonna, you know, at the end, I'm messing around with my game.
For sure. And you just said, like, even you kind of, like, get confused about what RPE it was. Was it hard for you to get used to the whole, the style of using RPE for your training?
I mean, the principle of RPE was pretty easy to understand, but, you know, to be able to really determine your RPE, pretty difficult. With bench, I'm pretty good with that. But with squats, I had a really big problem. Also because, you know, I had, like, a lot of respect for squats. But I think it started in January that I started to understand how to do the RPs with my squats. But it's still really difficult. If I don't know, if I don't really know what RP it was, I'm gonna write it into the plan like 7.5 question mark.
I do that shit all the time.
Send the video to my coach and I'm like, am I correct?
Yeah, well, same with me as well. And I think RPE is really good because like we're not robots. Like we're not supposed to like progress. Progress is not supposed to be like concrete, right? Like this day you do this many percentage with this much weight and it's supposed to feel this way, but we're not like that, right? So it's like I think it's like human way of programming training, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, like I said, I feel like RPs, enable you to, adjust the weight to your ability on that day.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, which is very important. So let's move into some of your, you actually are taking a course, right? For diet, nutrition. Tell me about that.
So I am doing the MNU course that is by Martin McDonald. He's really present in the nutrition scene, also like in an evidence-based nutrition scene. And I'm doing his course. I'm in his September 2019 intake. So if everything goes well, I'm going to be done with the course in November. And then I want to do nutrition coaching with athletes or also with people who just, with general population who just want to lose weight, gain muscle mass, or improve their health or nutrition habits or whatever.
And he's from England, right?
Yeah, from UK.
Okay. And so the fact that you want to study nutrition and help people out, does that, like, do you want to do this because you got into powerlifting and you realized the importance, or was your value on nutrition very big before the whole powerlifting thing?
Actually, it came because of powerlifting. The main reason why I wanted to do this course is because I was very fascinated by the fact that how nutrition can improve performance in athletes.
Yep.
So that was actually the primary reason why I wanted to do this.
Yeah, me too, definitely. Like for example, diets are not the same for everybody, right? Like as a powerlifter, what kind of diet can you recommend for powerlifting athletes?
I think there's no certain diet that fits everyone. For example, some people could prefer to eat less carbs because, I don't know, maybe when they eat too many carbs, they feel kind of tired and sluggish. But some people could feel very good on high carbs, but don't do that well on higher fat, so they keep it low or pretty moderate. I would only say that it is important to eat an adequate amount of protein. I wouldn't recommend going lower than 1.8. I would say minimum 1.8 up to, I don't know, 3 grams per kilogram. I personally eat 2.3 and would like to increase it even more.
What do you eat it from?
Chicken.
Oh yeah.
I also use whey protein, and I also eat a lot of I don't know what's it called in English, like curd, quark.
I've heard of that.
That is a very popular thing in Austria, and that is pretty high protein and also very low in fat, and that is yummy. It's like a very sturdy yogurt thing. Maybe.
Ooh, okay. Oh, curd cheese.
It's or just Google quark.
Quark. It says curd is a dairy product obtained by coagulating milk in a process called curdling.
I'm not quite sure if that's it, but maybe. Because I tried to find the translation. It said like curd, quark, and so.
How do you spell it?
Quark.
I'm so confused. Oh, it's still dairy. It's a fresh dairy product made by warming source milk until this desired amount of coating is met. So it's like cottage cheese almost.
No. It's like very, very sturdy.
Yeah,
it's not creamy at all.
Okay.
You need to add water if you want it to make like a yogurt consistency.
Do they have this in Japan?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's a very Austrian German thing, I'd say.
Okay, and do you just
it's like
it on
sour.
Its own? Yeah.
No, I sweeten it with sweetener.
So it's like you eat it like yogurt.
Or I bake with it.
Oh.
It's like a good calorie-friendly way for, cheesecakes.
Ooh.
But it has a pretty sour taste, I'd say.
Okay. High protein.
Yeah. So I get my protein from quark, from chicken, lean, grounded beef.
Yep. I need to get this quark thing in my life. It's very interesting.
Maybe I can bring it to you in Japan.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe there might be some listeners that do not do powerlifting but is interested in like losing weight or something. Like, what is something that you can recommend that they do daily? It could be anything. Like, it could be like taking walks or keeping track of calories or anything that they can do every day to maybe maintain diet.
First of all, I like to mention that weight loss is probably not the thing that most people want. So I think with weight loss, what they mean is actually fat loss.
Good point.
So that is a pretty big difference in my opinion. So because weight loss, the goal is to see a lighter weight on the scale, but it doesn't have anything to do specifically with, having a better body composition.
Yep.
And because when you want to decrease scale weight, you could lose muscle and have achieved your goal, but you won't look better. So I think what most people strive to do is fat loss, which is obviously the reduction of body fat mass. And so to lose body fat, what you obviously have to do is to be in a calorie deficit. So the calories you consume is less than the calories you burn, or it could be that the calories you burn is more or higher than the calories you consume. So you can do it either way, like either limit your food your calorie consumption, or increase your activity. But I would limit the food intake because this is easier to measure than to measure how much each person is burning in an activity, because that is so like individual, and your fitness tracker won't be able to track that
the calories, but it
will overestimate it, everything. So like I said, it's a lot easier to track your food if you want to track, because we have a lot of food database which have the calorie values and everything from the food. So be in a caloric deficit and work out.
Do some form of exercise. Like, what can you recommend? Can it be like resistance training or even cardio?
I would recommend resistance training, because cardio makes you burn calories, but it won't help you build muscle tissue up. And when you lose the body fat, you want to have a good shape. I think.
Like a good
structure. Most people want that. And also weight training is important, because if you're already consuming less, your body is in a deficit. And if you don't use the muscles, if you don't eat enough protein, it could be possible that your body will be breaking down muscle tissue as well. And we don't want that. So to prevent your muscle tissues from being broken down, you have to, do some sort of training with your muscles. Like, I would really recommend resistance training, but maybe that's a bias. And I would also, just for the start, also increase your daily activity, like walk more. Walk shorter distances instead of taking the public transport. Go the stairs instead of the escalator or the elevator. But nutrition wise, I would eat a good amount of protein, because protein keeps you full. And also don't go too low with the fat, because fat is very important for your hormone household, which is especially also important when you're already in a deficit. And also don't be scared of carbs. They're not bad for you.
But you gotta know that there are different types of carbs, right?
They're simple and complex carbs.
And it's better to eat complex carbs. Am I correct?
I don't think it's a matter of better or worse. I think because fruit is still good for you, you know. Fruit, for example, is not a complex carb. It's a simple carb.
Yeah.
But the only difference is actually simple carb and complex carb is, I think, the how many bridges the chemicals have, the molecules.
Oh yeah.
It's just a molecule structure thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that simple carbs are like worse. Or, I don't like saying worse.
Bad.
Using the word good, bad, healthy, unhealthy for food, because I think that creates a bad relationship with the food. I feel like you can eat anything what you want, just in moderation. Because I, for example, do flexible dieting if I have to put a name to it. So I eat whatever I want, but I make sure to do that in moderation, but still focus mainly on hitting my calories and my macros with high quality food, let's say. But still, if I want chocolate, I'm gonna eat chocolate.
Yeah, I think a lot of people diet with the if it fits your macros, like, so it's like you set certain grams of protein, fats, and carbohydrates, and you can eat within that day. Like, do you do that with flexible dieting?
Yeah, but I don't even want to say that I am doing a certain type of diet, because I just eat how I want to eat.
Yeah.
But I feel it's because I don't want to restrict myself to anything.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's going to create a good relationship with it.
And I think a lot of people fail their diets because of restrictions. Do you think? Maybe you can agree, or maybe not. I don't know.
I think that's also like a reason. But I also think that they take too big of a jump.
Right.
You know, they're like, okay, tomorrow I'm going to start a diet where I leave out all kind of processed food, and I'm only going to eat clean and healthy and good food, and that's not going to be sustainable to make an 180 turn.
Yeah, that's true. So start with something doable, right, that you can continue.
I think
maybe
like smaller steps.
And that could be anything, right?
I think so. I think it depends on the person, but they have to do, I think like there's no one diet fits all, and also because maybe I like tracking my food and then therefore able to include ice cream because I weigh it, because and then I can see if I still have calories left or my macros or whatever, but that doesn't mean that I don't know, you should track. I don't know, maybe it could be possible that you don't like tracking, maybe that's stressful for you.
That's true. There's no one way fits all.
No.
Okay.
Sadly.
That's true.
So a lot simpler.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move into some of your, just maybe a few things about your personal life. Yeah?
Sure.
I'm wondering like what it's like growing up as a Japanese person overseas. Like, have you had any struggles or difficulties with that?
I can't think of anything specifically right now. Because I don't have like any major things that I could think of where it was like, oh my god, it's so hard being me. The only like thing that comes to my mind is like nothing even major. It's just like whenever my family and I go out for dinner in a restaurant, they approach us in English a lot of the times and ask us if we want a English card, assuming that we can't speak German.
Right.
But that I don't know. Really.
Yeah, and you obviously don't take offense to that at all, right?
No, not really.
Yeah, I'm trying to be polite. Because I remember like when I went to Australia, like 2007, there was only a handful of Japanese people. Like I think there was like 2,000 people at my high school, and only me and my brother was like the only Japanese people. So it was like it was very like hard for us to grow up in Australia. But maybe Europe has it easier with the whole racial discrimination thing. Maybe not now.
It could be possible because it kind of makes sense, I guess, because if you think geographically, Austria is in the middle of Europe, so we do have people from countries all around Europe, like Slovakia, Germany, Italy, and stuff. So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Not sure really.
Yeah. Maybe that has something.
Could be a reason though.
Yeah. And what's it with like the whole coronavirus thing? Like, you know how people are saying, "Oh, everybody's bullying Japanese or Asian people and saying, get out of my country, blah, 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 blah." Like, do you get that? Do you see that?
I mean, obviously there are people who think like that, sadly. But I think that I only, I mean, it happens, so it's like better now. But 2 times when my sister and I were walking our dog, we heard like a French guy say, "Oh, the Chinese with her chihuahua and stuff." And the second time was actually a young boy speaking concernedly with his mom, and he mentioned something with Chinese and stuff when we were walking past, and that was kind of shocking because he was like probably 6 and was already concerned about that and pointing out that we were Asians here next to
That's
them.
the parents' fault.
Yeah. So but other than that, I think nothing has happened.
Okay. Because you do hear a lot of stuff, right? Like people getting punched out of nowhere.
Yeah, I saw some news about that, and also what is happening now in China.
Yeah,
that is also crazy.
What thing that's
Did you
happening
see
in
it?
China?
That they're now being racist towards African-looking people.
What?
Like, yeah.
I didn't
Or
see that.
I even saw that they put out a sign somewhere at a bar, I think, where it said, "We do not serve people from Africa or African-looking people," or something.
Why?
That
What
was, I don't
happened?
know. Because now I think the numbers are increasing again with the virus, but it's like not from within the country, but because some people came back to China and they brought the virus again, and then I don't know. But that's crazy, actually.
Ooh, a lot of, I don't know. I think every country just like really trying to protect their own countries. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
It is a mess.
Yeah, it is a mess, isn't it? So how are you like trying to stay fit while this quarantine is happening? Do you have any ideas? Like, are you doing stuff right now?
I would like to say that doing bodyweight stuff is,
it does do stuff,
helping me and mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get so strong. I'm gonna get back to the gym so strong because of all my bodyweight stuff. I wish I could say that. But I mean, now it's but you could see it as an opportunity to do some other stuff, maybe some rehab stuff, or give your body a rest from all the heavy weight.
Yeah.
But I do really miss it.
Yeah.
And also now I am trying to watch over my nutrition now more than ever, because if I can't work out, nutrition.
Yeah, that is one thing that you can control. Like if you can't exercise, then you can really rethink about what you're putting into your body, right? It's a good opportunity.
And I also ordered a bike online to do cardio.
Ooh.
It hasn't arrived yet, but so I can do cardio at least.
Good. Okay, some form of exercise. I don't know, maybe you might come back as a triathlete or something.
Oh no, thank you.
Not a bad. Okay, so we're just coming up on time. So where can people reach you? Like, do you have social media?
On Instagram at Keiko Mayeda. It's written Keiko Mayada. Wait. Why can't I spell my name?
This is the second time you've done this.
I know. I feel so stupid. Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Keiko Mayeda. So it's written Keiko Mayeda.
Okay, there we go. I'm not cutting that bit, by the way. I'm keeping that bit.
Fuck you.
Okay, and do you have any goals on powerlifting or even career-wise?
Yes, so with powerlifting, I want to compete at Worlds and maybe bring home some medals and maybe even break the -47 junior bench record. I mean, I don't know how
Which is-
realistic that is, but that would be fucking cool. I think the current world record is 86 kilos.
Okay.
And
And you're...
like 10 kilos to go.
Okay. You got it. Would you...
I still have 4 more years, so.
Yeah, exactly. And would that be what meet would that be? Would that be in 2021?
I think so.
Right, yeah.
I don't think that. I don't even know if they're gonna hold the worlds this year. And even if I would be able to break the record yet, but maybe. I don't know. I don't want to pressure myself. I'm gonna give myself my whole junior career to do so.
Yeah. And you're not planning on like competing bench only meets?
I do want to actually, but
Yeah.
I mean, if I had the chance to, choose between powerlifting and bench only, I think I would do powerlifting.
Okay. Yeah, good. Okay. And what are some of your other goals, like career-wise, maybe?
Career-wise, I want to do my course and then coach people.
Okay, and that would be like an online coaching, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I want to coach people, like no matter if they want to lose body fat, gain muscle mass, or improve their nutrition, or perform because of their performance, or because of overall health. So that'd be so cool.
I am very excited. Okay, so we'll cut it here now. Is there anything that you want to say? I don't know.
No. Can't spell my name. That's what I know.
Okay, thank you for being on the show, Keiko.
Thank you.
Bye.
And there we have it. Make sure you check out Keiko's Instagram page. She posts her training as well as tips on what she found useful in her diet and training. As for Barbell Radio, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, posting videos and clips from the episodes. A website probably coming soon as well. If you want to ask questions, feel free to message me on any of those platforms. Also, I would just like to say thank you for everyone supporting this podcast, for either listening or liking or subscribing, giving feedbacks, or just being a guest for these episodes as well. I never thought that I would be able to create anything like this, and it means the world to me to know that there are people out there showing love. So thank you so much. Next week's episode is a Japanese episode where I interview a research student specializing in neuroscience, and we talk about Alzheimer's disease and exercise. Now that's enough talking from me, and I guess see you next week. Thank you.